I'm Jack Kelly, and welcome to SativAcademy. We had covered so many topics here at SativAcademy, and our purpose is to not only help and try and educate you, but also to develop a conversation between people throughout America about this specific topic. With all things, we believe significant conversation with data from leading scientists and doctors, as well as considering the overall impact on society, is the best way to have this dialogue about marijuana. So how has this conversation been portrayed in the more established media in America? With the emergence of the internet as a common source of information, millions of people in the subsequent social networks like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, information is not simply more available, but communication between ordinary people has become viral, and traditional media sources have had to adapt to this conversation between these people. As a result, cable networks and news outlets have adopted their message to fit certain niche demographics. The topic surrounding medicinal marijuana has been tilted towards that specific viewer that regularly watches a particular program or news station. For example, a station such as Fox News will generally attract a more conservative viewer. As a general rule, many people who are conservative tend to view medicinal marijuana suspiciously. Although many libertarians may also be drawn to a station such as Fox News because they share a similar political point of view with conservatives, they generally differ on the legalization question. Because regulating marijuana is seen as a violation of a person's personal liberty. Libertarians do not like regulation of the federal government, nor regardless of issue. So how does a station like Fox News cover this debate, allowing farmers to grow marijuana for medicinal purposes? Well, let's see. Fox News correspondent Dr. Keith Albo, in an opinion piece with Fox, compared the legalization movement to seeking government entitlements, such as programs like Social Security and Medicare, by stating this: I think it is worth noting the cultural context for the medicinal marijuana movement. We are, as a nation, and perhaps as a species, increasingly seeking ways to anodise ourselves from reality. It seems like we would go to any length to avoid pain, even if we can only delay it. So we use the internet to remove ourselves from daily life and real relationships, and use sex and ceaseless discussion about it, including non-stop news coverage of celebrity sexual behavior, to distract ourselves. We use bailouts and entitlements and freebies to avoid facing the gathering economic storm on the horizon. We eat and eat and eat until we are fat and diabetic and hypertensive. We bury our heads in the sand as a rogue nation like Iran develops nuclear weapons that could easily lead to the destruction of our closest allies in the world, or to a world war. So as you can see, Dr. Albo, while on a platform for Fox, cites fat and lazy people and nuclear weapons in Iran as a reason not to allow medicinal marijuana. Not to say that Dr. Albo doesn't make some legitimate points about American habits as a whole. He simply refuses to discuss the basic merits of the relief some people with serious ailments could have from it. So how do more liberal stations such as MSNBC, Current TV, or people such as Jon Stewart cover the medicinal marijuana debate? As we all know, Jon Stewart is a comedian who hosts The Daily Show on Comedy Central. But what we also know is that Stewart inserts legitimate policy agendas in his jokes, and on many occasions has been on Fox's show Bill O'Reilly to debate many important topics of the day. So, Stewart, in the form of a joke, asked the question on his forum, can we pay off the national debt with legalizing marijuana? Now, it is masked as a joke, but the discussion on his forum was intended to instigate actual legitimate discussion on the topic, which it has. Stewart is no dummy, and by asking the question in the way that he has, would lead one to believe he is using his platform to favor some aspect of legalization. On Current TV, when infamous liberal host Keith Olbermann has landed after his high-profile exit from MSNBC, a documentary show called Vanguard has openly looked at the problems of illegal operations that cause major issues for the country and has asked the question, are we better off if it were legal as opposed to not? So, as we can see, different stations do cover the medicinal marijuana debate quite differently, which is reflective of the political attitudes of their viewers. But what we want to know is, how do you feel about this coverage? Is it fair? Or is there unbiased opinion on both sides? Or do all cable stations cover it from a biased political point of view? We would love to know what you think. So please join me for a continued discussion on this topic on our blog at SativAcademy on InsidersHealth.com. Well, thank you very much for watching. I'm Jack Kelly, and I'll see you on our blog to continue this discussion.